All right, sorry for that little interruption. I think the wine opening might have shorted out a circuit or something about that, which can happen to me because my first time last week or 2 weeks ago, I actually spilled something. So I didn't spill this time, but we had a quick interruption, so I apologize for that. And I want to come back because Julie and I were getting into talking about the dishes, and also we were just about highlighting the wine. So let's step back one quick second and go back to highlighting the wine list and tell us what's on there.
Yes, so we came up with our wine list based on the Mediterranean. So we have French wines, we have Greek wines, wines from Spain and Italy.
And even by the glass, so like, I mean, again, I always go back to Italian because that's just me, but even by the glass, you had a nice variety.
Yes.
And there was a Vermentino that I found that was delicious that I had, and I thought I drank a lot of Vermentinos. I never had that one.
A lot of people aren't familiar with Vermentinos, but when you try it, you love it.
Right. Mm-hmm. So speaking about trying and loving it, you have a good story behind this. So tell us about this wine that you brought. But cheers to you, first of all. Then while she's telling the story, I'll be sipping.
So rosé is my favorite wine to order, and there's one specific wine that all of the managers agreed to wanting on our wine list. But the general manager was familiar with Bel Air, and he had us all do a blind tasting.
Which I think is so cool.
Yes, and we all chose this over any other rosés.
So it was unanimous
yes.
After you had a blind tasting. I think I need to do more blind tastings, and Alessio, if you need help with this, I am a willing participant to come over and sit with you and Julie and do blind tastings. I will be there any day of the week.
He found this wine and he emailed actually the owner of the vineyards
to
find who the distributor was.
You're kidding.
Yeah, and when we found out, we're now ordering cases every week.
When I tell you this is amazing, and we've promoted and talked a lot about rosés, this has got Syrah in it, Grenache, Cabernet. This is a beautiful, beautiful rosé. I can see why you guys have chose it.
Yes.
So part of the alfresco experience, we just talked about this with Tavern on the Sea of Costas, is the cocktails and the dining and being able to move around. And all of these venues, you're able to do that. I mean, I was, granted I was there for, a specific thing and then meeting some people, but you can kind of get up to stroll from your tables to check out the views a little bit there.
Yes.
So being able to get this great wine list and these cocktails, your people were producing some amazing cocktails the other night.
Yes. My favorite part of the menu.
Your favorite part of the menu?
Well, they're great craft cocktails. We have the Tigarita, that's my favorite. It's just all very refreshing.
Nice. So there is some special things about, obviously being on a roof is an amazing thing as well, but there are some special things about the menu, and you kind of described the wine list. So let's go into how the menu matches your description of what you're saying. Give us an overall style, and then we'll talk about the dishes that you brought here today.
So mare means of the sea in Italian, if for those who didn't know that. And so the owner, the general manager, and the executive chef, they're all from Italy, from parts of the coast.
Yep.
And so they wanted a seafood restaurant, and they also, have traveled the Mediterranean and decided to do a Mediterranean concept. Which
I think is awesome, because both, like you said, all of them are from Italian descent. And that's someone was just saying to me, they're like chicks. I mean, they're like, it's not all Italian. I'm like, just telling you right now, listen.
I'm actually the only one that's not Italian.
Really?
Yes. And so I think it was me always kind of telling them, you have too much Italian stuff. And so, we do have a great balance.
All right, so tell me what you brought here today.
Okay, so this is the octopus. It's from the coast of Spain. And the fava beans is a spin-off of a recipe from Greece.
Really?
Yes, it's a fava bean puree.
That is beautiful. I mean, I'm a seafood person overall, so all these things are playing very well with me. And then what do we got over here?
It's my favorite. This here are we have local sea scallops, a black rice, a pepper coulis, and native corn. So
I did use this because I took a great picture. I have to give myself credit for that. Christina and Taylor, you should be proud of me. I took a great food picture the other night. Look the size of these scallops. I sat there eating this dish. I felt like I was nursing the dish. I probably sat there eating the dish alone for a good 20 minutes, which made me have more than 2 glasses of wine, but that's okay. But this was recommended by you guys when I came in, and I was craving it, so it was perfect. What are some of the other dishes? Give us a couple of the other favorites that you have on the menu.
So we have a great appetizer list. We have a beet cured salmon that is absolutely amazing. We have a great ribeye steak for those who don't like seafood. We have a pizza oven, so it's always...
I missed that.
Yes.
Oh, how did I miss that?
I don't know. It's actually imported from Italy. It's beautiful.
You're kidding me. I don't know how I missed that. So a pizza oven that's up there on the roof.
Yes.
That's, I mean, you got pizza being made in the sky, basically.
Exactly.
So hour-wise, what are the hours that you guys are open?
So we're open 7 days a week. We're open, right now we're only open for dinner from 4 o'clock, 11 o'clock on the weekdays, and 12 o'clock on the weekends.
Okay.
And then we are opening, hopefully by the end of July, for brunch, Saturday and Sunday.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
I can't wait for that.
That's fantastic. So you're going to be 2 months old and you're going to have 2 brunches.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's another great brunch spot to add to the list.
And then after we open for brunch, we're going to get going on lunch.
So you're kind of phasing it all in to get there.
Yes.
So in talking about it being a great alfresco spot, you guys also, and I keep using this word unique because each of the guests I'm talking to today have a unique atmosphere, is that the 120 seats that you mentioned that's inside will be usable all year round. So it's not going to change your operations from that perspective, but you'll still have an outside view.
Yes.
The way it's set up.
It's all glass. There's not even tinted because we just want that outside atmosphere, and it's just absolutely gorgeous.
So you'll feel like you're eating al fresco even in the month of December or January, the way that this is set up.
And I've been there during snowstorms, and it is just so cool to be up there.
Beautiful, I'm sure, seeing all the snow come down from there. So this is a great, great new spot. Julie and Alessio will take great, great care of you to check it out. The menu is fantastic. And if you're looking for, again, another unique portion of al fresco dining, make sure you go check these guys out. Thank you for making the time. Thank you for bringing this fantastic wine, which I'm going to keep here a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I will see you again soon.
Me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And you got to get the scallops for sure.
Yes, you do.
All right. Christina's going to help us right here. Thank you, hon. See, I did take a good food picture the other day. Yeah, sure, absolutely. I'll be drinking that. Julie just made my day. All right, so my next guest is someone that also joined me probably about a year ago, and you'll hear me flattering him and the owner a lot because it is one of my favorite destinations in the state. But I'd like to bring in Sean, who is the GM over at Cafe Nuovo here in Providence. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Rick, how are you?
Good to see you.
Great
Looking
to see
sharp
you.
as always.
Trying to keep up with you, my friend.
Yeah, please. So Sean and I have known each other a long time.
Absolutely.
Dimitri and I have known each other a long time, and a year ago when you guys joined us, we had a lot to talk about and a lot of good things that were happening.
Indeed.
And I kind of wanted to give a fresh overview because in the last, I don't know, I would say 3 months, it seems like every marketing piece that I've seen that's promoting Providence in the state has phenomenal pictures one way or another of Cafe Nuovo in there, whether it's the rotunda outside or the alfresco on the side of it. So for those of you people that have not been there, what the heck is wrong with you, first of all? Second of all, kind of give us like a verbal overview of the setup of Cafe Nuovo.
Sure. So we're very fortunate enough to have a very convertible space, as we like to say, where we can seat about 135 in our main dining room, which also consists of a smaller semi-private room that can seat up to about 35 comfortably. We have outdoor seating that can seat close to 70. And then we have our rotunda space, which with a dance floor, you can seat about 130. Without a dance floor, you can seat up to about 200. So on a Sunday, when we're closed for regular business, you could have a wedding with about 200 guests and then utilize the dining room for cocktail hour and dancing.
So one of the questions that I got before we get to the general alfresco is that when you mentioned the rotunda and being able to have that seating outside, there's been events that you've done that add to the alfresco style of things, right?
100%.
Because outside the rotunda, you've got a space that kind of, circular space, I guess, is the best way to call it, right?
And you can put a tent out there, like a 30 by 40 tent that will cover that brick area.
Right.
So you can create a second space just with that there.
And I have to say, over the years, I've been to dozens of events at Cafe Nuovo that have utilized this. I mean, Women and Infants Hospital does something there.
Absolutely.
Jim Verity, who's another mutual friend of ours, an event planner, does fantastic events that he's produced.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible work.
I'm actually with Jim tonight, so I'm looking forward to talking with him. But this gives you that unique perspective where in the beginning we were talking about Harbor Lights, and you can create something outside in the lawn. In the middle of the city, literally downtown Providence, you can create your own outdoor alfresco space outside of Cafe Nuovo.
That's absolutely right.
So in this whole thing, let's talk about the sidewalk and the alfresco, and then we're going to get to the menu style, and
Sure.
Dimitri and Sean have both had heavy influence in the menu. So talk to us about how your alfresco is set up out there.
So we have about 20 tables, with canopies covered, so it's in the shade, and They're not quite waterproof, but they'll keep you dry with a light rain. But at least keeps the sun out of your eyes during the day. And it's right by the river, so you don't have the cars zooming by.
Right.
There's no exhaust. You're right on the river, which makes it a really unique space in that capacity because you're not on a sidewalk per se. You're on a walkway in a river. And
your views from that vantage point. I mean, we'll talk about the special view in a second, but your views from that vantage point are you're seeing pretty much everything that's going on in the city.
Right by the gondola landing, and Marcello does a great job of taking guests by. And
we had Marcello on a couple of weeks ago, and we were giving big shout outs to you guys. So he was a great guy and runs a great service for us.
Yeah.
So you have obviously Waterfire, which is one of the major events that happens along the river, but
Absolutely.
You have so many others. This past couple of weeks, you've had between Pride Fest and PVD Fest going on, and then the convention business that comes in for you. So you guys are seeing guests that are experiencing the city for the first time from all over the world.
It's really remarkable, and all the building that's going on in the city. It's a really exciting time in Providence.
Absolutely, and I mean, there's a new hotel right directly across.
Yep, there's a Homewood Suites getting put in right across the river from us. So we're excited to see that when it's open, and the guests that it brings to the town, and everything's going very well.
So now, if someone is coming, and Waterfire is aside, because it's obviously a night that you need people to make recommendations for to sit outside. If you want to sit outside, you need that. But I should add is that I've sat inside on Waterfire nights, and you've got plenty of vantage points to be able to see things that are going on.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, you've got tables that line the glass windows that are there to be able to see things. But in general, when people are coming, you guys are open for lunch and dinner.
Monday through Friday we do lunch and dinner, and then Saturdays we do dinner starting at 5 o'clock.
Right. So if someone's coming, like for a lunch reservation to come and enjoy this, do they need reservations as much as they do for dinner at night?
Typically they don't. Monday through Friday. When you have a preference, it's always a good idea just to give us a call and state that you'd like to be outside, so we make sure we save something out there for you. But like I said, we have 20 tables out there, so it's usually pretty easy for us to accommodate anybody that's coming in.
And for a Waterfire night, it is a must. Don't expect you're
don't
expect you're going to walk into Cafe Nuovo and be able to get a seat outside on a Waterfire night.
That's exactly right.
And I want to kind of get from the alfresco side. I want to talk about menu, because one of the awesome things, and I have to admit I am a frequent person at Cafe Nuovo. I'm usually there at least once, twice a week.
I can attest to that.
You can for sure. Is that the style of your menu? You guys have got a constant evolution.
That's right.
And you've had some very talented chefs. Dimitri himself is, it's not unknown to see Dimitri in the kitchen.
That's exactly right. Exactly right.
So kind of give us an overview of what the latest menu is right now that you're offering for lunch and dinner.
Yeah, so right now I guess a direction that we've been moving in a little bit more so than years past is we're really moving forward with in-house fresh pasta.
Awesome.
And we're looking to roll out some new menu items starting next week, and some of those will consist of a burrata cappelletti that we're really looking forward to.
Awesome.
Which is a smaller stuffed pasta, and that's going to be a vegetarian pasta with a preserved lemon sauce and summer vegetables. We're also going to be doing a veal rillette with a kind of a play on French onion soup. It's going to have a few components that have the flavors of a French onion soup with a veal dish. We're also we've been bringing in some live scallops that we've been doing crudo and grilled. So those are going to become a more regular item starting next week.
Beautiful.
So that's a good way to get some local seafood with the summer flavors. And we still have the house favorites, the lamb shank that is
amazing.
One of Dimitri's mother's recipes, which is just absolutely fantastic. We have the stuffed rigatoni, which is something that's a staple of Cafe Nuovo. So it's a good combination of the things that have made us who we are, and also bringing in some new elements as well.
So I've cut back on my pasta, but I can tell you that he mentions the stuffed rigatoni. I think I called you last week, and I showed up at 9:30 at night.
That's right.
For dinner, coming from an event. I left the event and I was starving, and I'm like, I'm 20 minutes out. Can I still sit outside and eat?
Of course.
And I ended up having the stuffed rigatoni, and it was amazing. So another phenomenal dish. And then I have to go to one of my go-to light lunch favorites, is the Boston Bib.
Oh, it's beautiful.
That I get with shrimp, which is an amazing salad in and of itself.
Yeah, that's right.
But we're timing this well then, because you're saying the menu is going to be changing next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're really looking forward to it, and we've been playing around with different ideas the last couple of weeks, and so starting next week we'll start to slowly move some new items in, and we're really looking forward to that.
Perfect. And from an urban experience, and we've covered different levels of where things are, from going from a rooftop to going to destinations by the water. From an urban experience of where Cafe Nuovo is, you were taking in, like I said, the best parts of the city. Now, from the hospitality perspective of whether you're dining inside or outside, this is one of those things. And then, how many years is it now? Is it?
The restaurant's 24 years.
24 years. So in God, I've been going there for 24 years. So for 24 years, this restaurant has had some of the top people not only go through its kitchen, but be on the floor. Vince, I got to give a shout out to, who's been there a very long time and is one of my most favorite servers in the entire place. But from a knowledge perspective and explaining things between yourself, Dimitri, the fine staff that you have, Trish at the bar, I mean, you've got a great team that you guys have built up. And, you know, I've talked about with each of my guests about being able to ask questions and get educated on your menus.
Indeed.
You know, there's no intimidation factor. You know, and someone said this to me before, that, you know, they're new to the area, they wanted to go to Cafe Nuovo, they didn't know if the menu's too intimidating for them. There is no intimidation factor with this menu. You'll find some traditional favorites, the new things that you just described, and then the staff educating you.
That's exactly right. You know, we want to be, you know, fully disclosed here. We're not keeping secrets. It's you know, we want everybody to feel very comfortable, and that's why the menu is so large. You know, it has something for everybody, is the way that we like to see it. You know, in a day where the trend is starting to be much smaller menus and much smaller rooms, we're still kind of keeping with the opposite of that. You know, large menu and still a large room. So
yeah, that's been your tradition.
That's exactly right.
And I think people look forward to coming back for that if you've been a regular there. You know, and before Sean goes, I just want to touch upon the cocktail and the beverage program, because from a wine perspective, again, going back to being a wine enthusiast, tell us a little bit about your wine menu.
Yeah, so the wine menu, I mean, it definitely has a lot of strength in California, with plenty of old world favorites. You know, a lot of Super Tuscans on the Italian side, great Burgundy and Bordeaux section on our French reds, and then we have some exciting whites for the summer. You know, Alsatian whites. We're doing a little bit more with the Greek wines.
Nice.
You know, and rosé is obviously the hottest thing going. So. We're very excited.
And going back to that factor of asking, so it's pretty often that I'm turning to Sean or Dimitri or anybody else that's there and asking for a recommendation to go with the various things I have. And my wife loves to get cocktails, so it seems like I'm having to drink a bottle by myself, but she's getting her cocktail, so it's okay. But again, to get those suggestions and stuff, just talk to Sean, talk to Dimitri. They'll be happy to take care of you.
Please do.
So urban dining experience, Cafe Nuovo's been out there a long time now. Some great people over there running it. We've covered some perfect spots. So Sean, I want to thank you very much for making the time to come in. It was really helpful.
Always a pleasure.
So we've got 4 different destinations for you. There's so much more that's out there. You know, we've only scratched the surface on what you can go and see and do in Rhode Island. But check out these 4 places. Let them know that you saw them on the taste, obviously, and don't be intimidated to try the various things they have. Especially, you know, when you see these menus that have got this Mediterranean influence, like we talked about with Tavern by the Sea or Cafe Nuovo, and then at Mare, it's the breathtaking view. So thank you for joining me on The Taste today. I'm Rick Simone. Take care.